The first one is from the book of Exodus. We'll be reading from chapter 16, verses 1 through 5. And then from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 4, verses 1 through 11. So hear this word. The whole congregation of the Israelites set out from Elim, and Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had departed from the land of Egypt. The whole congregation of the Israelites complained against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots and ate our fill of bread, for you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I am going to rain bread from heaven for you, and each day the people shall go out and gather enough for that day. In that way I will test them, whether or not they will follow my instructions or not. On the sixth day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as they gather on other days." So the Gospel of Matthew. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and afterwards he was famished. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread." But he answered, "It is written, one does not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him up to the holy city and placed him on the pinnacle of the temple, saying to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, so that you will not dash your foot against a stone." Jesus said to him, "Again, it is written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. And he said to him, "All these I will give you if you will fall down and worship me." Jesus said to him, "Away with you, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve only Him." Then the devil left him, and suddenly angels came and waited on him. This is the word of God for all of us, the people of God. Thanks be to God.
The first Sunday of Lent, we typically examine temptation through the eyes of Jesus in the wilderness. Christ went out after He was baptized. He went out to the wilderness, and He went there for His soul to be tested, to be tempted. And this wilderness is known as the wilderness of death and chaos. It is stark. It is unforgiving. It is hostile. Having driven through there myself, it is rocks and dust. And so He goes there for 40 days. And it's not an accident that He's there for 40 days, because centuries before, what people were there for 40 years? God's people, wandering the wilderness. And so they had been delivered out of Egypt, and they go into the wilderness, and they get up, as I told the kids, they got a little bit hangry, right? They look around, they don't see any prospects of food, and they're wondering why did God deliver them from Egypt to begin with. And they begin thinking to themselves, what are we even doing out here? Maybe we should just go back and be slaves. At least we had some food to eat. And so they cry out to Moses, and they cry out to God, when are you going to feed us? What's the deal here? And so this passage is one of the richest passages in all of the Bible. And I want to say this. There are three great lessons from this passage. There are three. And the first one is this. There is enough. Not just for you, but for everyone. There is enough. The great environmentalist Dana Meadows said this about nature. One of the fundamental laws of nature is that there is enough. When animals go hunting, they only kill enough for what they need. Lions only kill enough for the day. They don't kill and go on rampages and store meat in their caves. They don't store meat in their freezers. They only kill for enough. And that's the way the world is ordered, and that is how we are supposed to live as well. We're only supposed to have enough for what we need. All of the resources that we have in this world, there is no reason why a child should go hungry at night. All of the ministries of this church, our food ministry, our Zoe ministry, we had Meals on Wheels this morning. All of that says to the world is a declaration that there is enough for everybody. That's where we stand on that. And in a world of crazy abundance, in a world of resources everywhere, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to feed everyone. And part of the reason is that we've got corrupt governments throughout the world. We've got corrupt politicians who care only about lining their pockets with more money, and they do so at the expense of the children in their country. Everything points to more and more and more. The greatest temptation of our time, especially here in America, is the temptation for wanting more. We look at what God has given us and we say, yeah, that's all right, but I want more. I want more of this and more of that. I want a better life over here. And never once do we ever go through an entire day and say to ourselves, man, I am so grateful for what I have, instead of looking toward the future about what we don't have. This kind of mindset of scarcity, we wake up with it and we go to bed with it, right? We wake up and the first thing we say in the morning is, I didn't sleep enough. I need more sleep. We go through our day, we go to our job, and we say, I don't get paid enough. I need more pay. I don't have enough in my house. I need a bigger car. When we go to bed at night, what do we say? We say, I did not get enough done. We are constantly reaching out for more. The simple truth is that if more is your primary goal in life, you are entering into a race that you will never win. There are no winners in the race for more. You may think there are, but there never are. I once did a charity race. It was a bicycle race, 150 miles over 2 days, 75 per day. It was a charity race to raise money to find a cure for diabetes. We started at Campbell University and we came all the way down to Wilmington. And it's a fun charity race. And it's meant to be fun, and you ride with large groups of people, and you have stops along the way, and just kind of enjoying yourself, enjoying the weather, enjoying doing good things. But on the last day, in the last 10 or 20 miles or so, it wasn't so much fun anymore. The group of guys that I was riding with, we were sort of in the front of the pack, we began separating a little bit. Some of us got a little bit faster. We were trying to spread out. We were trying to win the race, right? And I had my best friend I was riding with him. We had ridden together the entire time, and I was like, you know what? I'll see you at the finish line. So I started sprinting ahead, and in that last little bit, you know that bridge right before the battleship, like on the highway? I went over that and went into the finish line. By the way, sprinting to win a charity race is not a good look, okay? But I crossed the finish line, and I went to one of the volunteers, and I said, so how did I do? What place was I in? Because it's a charity race. We don't keep track of it. I said, no, it's a charity race, but how many people came in before me? She's like, sir, you don't keep track of that. Like, have some barbecue. Enjoy yourself. Like, there are no winners and losers. Diabetes is the loser, but everyone else is the winner. Like, there's no winners or losers here. And I just think that's so funny. Like, isn't that the arc of life, though? You know, you go through life, you think there's winners and losers, and you're trying to get ahead of the people in front of you. You're trying to do better than the people that you graduated with. And then one day you wake up and you realize, this is a charity race. This race that we're running is about giving, it's about enjoying. And what are we trying to win? The second lesson that we learned from this story is we must not store up. God said to them, if you try to take the manna from the ground and hoard it and store it up for the next day, whatever you store up, you're going to wake up the next day and it's going to be rotten. You're going to eat what you need, you're going to go to bed with nothing, and when you wake up, I'm going to give you everything. Now, God isn't trying to tell you not to save money. Of course not. What he's trying to say is that if accumulation of stuff is your primary goal, it's going to rot. It probably is eventually rotting. Maybe you have some stuff in your house that you've been accumulating that's rotting right now. But the worst thing that will rot will be your soul, if that is your primary goal of getting more and more. You know, the Israelites, they had no frame of reference. They came from Egypt and they didn't know how to live. The only economy they knew of was that they would work harder for whatever Pharaoh wanted. And so by doing this, God was trying to say, there's a new economy now. Adam Smith said of capitalism, there's the invisible hand, right? And everyone's looking out for their self-interest. Well, the foundation of God's economy is trust. Trusting that God will provide for the next day. Now, the economy has been in the news a little bit this week, right? The markets have not been doing so good. Maybe some of you lost some money this week. We were down 3,000 points this week, I think. And it was all over fears of a particular virus that shall go unnamed. We all know what it is, though. I did read this, but this is fascinating. This is a CBS News report. They said that the Corona Beer Company has lost millions of dollars. Read this. And what's funny is that people aren't drinking Corona beer anymore because they're afraid of getting the coronavirus. Oh, I hope that's not true. But they even came out and said, look, we're not trying to perpetuate the beer, but we have nothing to do with this. I promise you. But it's a good example of how fear and distrust perpetuates, and it impacts the markets. Economies are based on trust. And God's economy is the same way. It's based on trust, but not trust on the future, not confidence in the markets, but it's based on you trusting God. So we live in a capitalistic world, but what will be your economy? What will be the economy that you have? And God's trying to teach them, my economy is the way of trusting me. And if you trust me, I will provide for your needs. There's a great story in 1 Kings about the prophet Elijah. God calls him to go into the wilderness. And he says, you're going to live beside a brook. And you're going to drink the water from a brook. The food is going to come from ravens. I'm going to send ravens who will put food in their mouths, and then they'll regurgitate that food for you to eat. And Elijah says, okay, that's what you said, I will trust him. And so that's what happened. He would eat the food from that the ravens would bring him. And then when that food ran out, God said, okay, Elijah, I want you to go into town. There's going to be a widow. And that widow is going to make you some bread. But she only has a little bit of flour and a little bit of oil. And she's going to run out every single day. But at night, I'm going to replenish those jars. And you're going to have bread and you're going to have oil. That is God's economy. By the way, that's also what we call lean times. How many of you have been through lean times before? Maybe you weren't fed by ravens, but maybe you went to bed at night wondering if you were going to have more flour in your jar for the next day. And you know very well what it means to trust God. But in the name of more, because we're so obsessed with gaining more, we have destroyed our environment. We've chopped down rainforests, polluted rivers, we've poisoned our soil with chemical waste. And Americans, we are the worst. We represent 4% of the population, but 25% of the world's pollution. We are obsessed with gaining more. Large companies, in order to make cheaper products, what they'll do is they'll go overseas, they'll exploit nations, they'll take advantage and make children do labor in harsh conditions. And they'll do this all in the name of getting a little bit more. Humanity has over and over again prioritized more over themselves. We have killed for more, we have enslaved for more, and we have enslaved ourselves to joyless lives, all in the name of more. The third lesson is this: God gives us enough to rest. I hope this is good news for any of you who work really long, hard jobs. God gives us enough to rest. You see, he said, on the sixth day, I will give you a double portion. And this is the day you save. On the sixth day, you take that second portion, you save it for the seventh day, because on the seventh day, you don't go out in the fields and you don't gather. On the seventh day, you take what you already had and you eat it, because on the seventh day, you rest. We live in a society that's obsessed with working. We wear working like a badge of honor, but throughout the entire book of the Bible, God is saying you must take a time for yourself. You must take rest. You must take time to reconnect. I am providing for you to do so. I recently had some maternity leave a couple weeks ago, and when I was gone, it was a wonderful time. I was really excited. It was my first time being with my son by myself. Lindsay went back to work, and so I was ready for the challenge of taking care of a newborn by myself. And I said something really silly before. I can't believe I said this. I was going on my way out to maternity leave, and I said to my office manager, Claire, I said, if you got any good book recommendations, let me know, because I'm going to have a lot of free time taking care. It might have been the most naive thing I've ever said, actually. What I discovered is that there's a lot of free time taking care of a newborn. Once you do all the feedings, and you got to prepare for the next feeding, and then you got to straight up to the house, and I did some cooking, which is great. I did some laundry, and then all the other things you can't, like doing my own laundry, because he kept spitting on me all the time. I reached a point finally, he spit up at me one morning, and I was like, you know what, forget it, this is my shirt, I'm sticking with it. I'm riding or dying in this shirt today, I'm not doing any more laundry, all right? I'm going to go to Trader Joe's and spit up on both shoulders, I don't care. But the spiritual challenge of that week was this. When it started, I kept worrying about what was going on here. I was not on social media. I kept worrying about what was going on in the world, about what was going on in the lives of my friends, and I just felt disconnected, a little out of touch, and I started stressing about, this time away with my son. And then I realized one day, I said, I've got to get over this. This is a spiritual problem. This is not anyone else's problem but my problem. And I finally said, look, I'm going to push all of this aside and just trust God. Now, I wonder how many of you struggle to take time off in your labor. I wonder how many of you on your days off still go into the office, still check your email, still have anxiety about what's going on at work. I bet a lot of you do that. And you know what that is? That's because we're not trusting God. In this story, God said, I will give you enough so that you don't have to worry about the seventh day. You are supposed to take time for yourself. You're going to have enough. You don't have to worry about what your boss is going to think for you. I'm going to provide for you to take some time off for yourself. God gives us enough to rest. I want to close with this. This is from a book called Your Wife, Your Money. It's by Vicki Robin. It's a good little book. And she said this. She said, in life, there are people who make a living. There are people who make a dime. And there are people who make a killing. People who make a living are people who have a healthy relationship with their job. They go to work and they earn money, and it doesn't bother them in any way. It's just they have enough to live. People who make a dime are people who are so obsessed with getting more that they work themselves to the bone and work their souls to the bone. People who make a killing are people who are so unfulfilled and so tired of getting more that they actually hurt those who are around them. And so I want to ask you, are you making a living? Are you making a dime? Or are you making a killing? Those who make a living are those who live inside God's economy, who understand that the foundation of this economy is about trusting that God will provide for each day. That's what it means to make a living. Let us pray. God, we admit that sometimes we live outside of your economy, that sometimes we don't trust, that sometimes we don't believe that you will provide. And so, Lord, as we come forth to receive your grace, help us to reaffirm our commitment to trust in you. Help us to reaffirm our commitment to live inside your economy and to trust your provision. And be with us now, God, as we receive your grace that you give so abundantly to us. In your name we pray. Amen.